Hi, this is Mitch from I'mJustSharing.com, and I decided to do a video on this because, frankly, I've been doing so much writing, my fingers are tired, and I decided, you know what, let's just put up a video talking about this subject today. And the subject today is, will you do almost anything to get more followers? More followers in what, you might ask? More followers anywhere in social media. Will you do anything to get more Twitter followers? Will you do anything to get more Facebook followers? Will you do anything to get more Google Plus followers or anything else? Will you do anything to get more blog followers? You know, it's an interesting question because in this day and age where we talk about trying to be influential online, one of the things that comes up often is the people who love to say, hey, look at the numbers I have. I have 100,000 people following me. That shows how influential I am. Well, I'm not necessarily so sure, but at the same time, I'm not as sure. And I'll tell you why. There are all these lists that I see that come up talking about the top 50 social media this, the top 50 blogging this, and I see these lists, and of course I have my one main gripe, which is you rarely see minorities on, and if you do, you may see one. But that's, you know, my gripe. There's nothing I can do about that. But the other thing I tend to do is I will click on a lot of those links because I want to see how well those sites are ranked. I want to see how often those people write, and I want to see the number of comments those people have. Because I like to do a comparison when it comes to blogging. And I find that at least half of the time, my blog is ranked higher. I write a lot more often. I may not always have as many comments as some of these people, but I do okay. So it says, well, okay, if I'm ranked higher and I do whatever, why are they on this particular list? Well, then I go look at Twitter. And I look at Twitter and I see that I'm following about 850 to 860 people. And I may have about 3,000 or so that are following me. But you look at them and they've got 50,000, 70,000, 100,000 people following them. Some of them are following about as many people. Some aren't. But they do have tons and tons of followers. Now, how did they get those followers? Did they get those followers because people were in their blogs and seeing what they had to say? Well, obviously not, because their traffic numbers aren't, you know, stellar. They're not all ranked based on Alexa and 30,000 or 20,000 or 10,000, whatever. And yes, I know the argument that someone's going to say, well, Alexa doesn't really count. You know what? Alexa counts as much as anything else. I'm just going to say that and move on. So what I think it really comes down to is it comes down to who sees who and how they promote each other. I really think that's what it's all about. I look at some of these big names, and it's amazing how if you end up on a list, and I've ended up on lists that maybe stayed a couple of weeks and then left, for the most part anyway, you notice that these people all promote each other. Well, really, when you think about it, that's what it's all about. It's about people getting together and finding ways to promote each other in some fashion. And it's not just a couple of people, but it's, you know, a bunch of people who have their own little consortium, and they're able to promote. And when they promote, other people see that, and then they all jump on the bandwagon, and they all grow, and they do fine. And I'm not complaining about any of that, by the way. I am not the jealous type. I'm not the envious type. When it gets to that, I just make general commentary. And yes, do I want more followers? Yes. Do I want more connections? Yes. Would I like to be ranked higher? Yes. Do I want to show up on a top 50, on a top 25 list of something saying this guy is an influencer, whatever? Yes. But do I envy anyone who's there? And do I want to be those people? No, I don't. I don't want to bump anyone off the list who doesn't deserve to be there. But that's always the question. Do all those same people really deserve to be there? You know, I'm going to tell you that there are some people who I think absolutely deserve to be there. I don't have a problem with Chris Brogan being on the list. I don't have a problem with Darren Rouse being on the list. Come on, please. I don't have a problem with guys like Mitch Joel being on the list. I have a problem with Seth Godin being on the list because he doesn't really talk to anyone. He doesn't talk to anyone on Twitter. I don't even know why he's got an account. He doesn't allow comments on his blogs. I don't know why he's considered as this big social media guy, because he's not a social media guy. He's a marketing guy. So if you put him on marketing, well, yeah, he deserves to be there. The guy's written 3 to 5 books or something like that. I even read one of the books and I liked it. So he deserves to be there. But does he deserve to be in any of these other areas? Nope. Guy like Marcus Sheridan. You know what? I got to tell you, I'm impressed by him. I like what he has done online, and I like what he's done offline. Marcus Sheridan needs to be on more lists. So I don't have a problem with that. Someone like Lisa Irby, I talk about her all the time. She's a young lady. Her website is under 10,000 on Alexa. She has a lot of posts. She does a lot of videos. I like the stuff she talks about. Don't know why she's not on all that many lists. Oh, yeah, that's right. She's the black woman. Yeah, I said it. But she deserves to be on some lists, and she's not there. I think she's not there because she's not one of the pretty people. I mean, okay, sorry, the woman's pretty. I don't mean that. What I mean is that she's not in the clique. She's not of the level of some of the other people. At least they don't see it that way, so they don't talk about her. So they don't talk about her, then she doesn't get all the same publicity. She doesn't end up on the lists. So let's go back to my original statement. Would you do anything to get more followers? You know, I connected with someone on Twitter. This guy had created one of those top 50 lists. And so I was talking to some other people on Twitter about, you know, it's used to be nice to show up on the list one day. And he saw the conversation. And after a bit, he asked me would I like to write a guest post on his blog. I went and checked out his blog, and his blog, you know, it's ranked really high. And I said, sure, I'd love to write a guest post. Then he said, well, let's back up. I need to see some criteria from you. And I said at that point, no, not in the mood. One, you asked me. Two, you could go and look and see what my criteria is. I mentioned to him I have over 2,800 articles online in different places, including my own blogs. If you want to see what kind of quality I write or anything like that, go look at something, you know. Don't put me through a test because I'm not in the mood. And I thought about it after I declined it, and I said, well, geez, you know, but did I just miss out on an opportunity to get up there with the big boys and really get known or whatever? And I said, maybe, but, you know, there's those terms, there's those places I just won't go. There's those places on Facebook that I just won't go. During one of our Google Hangouts, one of the guys was saying that anyone who ever asks him if they can friend him, he just says yes. And so he's got something like 2,000 or 3,000 people as friends. I don't do that. The same with Google+. There's a lot of people who have added me into their circles because it tells you that, but I haven't added everyone who asked me. I don't add everyone who asked me to sign up on LinkedIn. Now, I could have big numbers just like anyone else. I've been on all of those services for years, except for Google+, since it just came out last year. But I've been on all those other services for years. I could have thousands. But that's not really what I've been about. My blog's a different story. I do market the blog. I do comment on a lot of other blogs. I get a lot of people who come in. I write a lot of content. You guys, you know, those of you who have followed this blog for a long time know I put out a lot of content. So, you know, it asks those kinds of questions of, you know, just what will you do? Will you automate a lot of posts? I mean, you know, there's some of you who I hope are watching this video, but you probably won't. But there's some of you who have these automated services and you're putting stuff out 24/7. Every 10 minutes there's a post by you that you're not putting out there. And it's over and over and over and oh my goodness. And you know what? You're probably getting a lot of people who are following you. Probably 50% of those are bots. It's not even real people who are adding you. They've automated the process to follow you. So now you've got these lists of 50 to 100,000 people. And most of them ain't real. They're not reading your stuff. They're just helping you increase the numbers. Is it all a numbers game? Will you do anything that is possible to get those numbers? Should you? I can't do it. So, you know, this may be the thing that holds me back. I hope not. It could be the thing that holds back a lot of other people, and the fact that we don't want to do some of these things. And if that's the case, then that's just the case. But doesn't mean that I'm not going to persevere. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to keep putting out what I put out to try to be better. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't either. go for it. Do everything that you can. Get the publicity. Get your word out there. People will find you. Of course, you have to go work for people as well. Blog commenting, in my opinion, is the best way to do that. But, get in the game. Stay in the game. Try to stay ethical. And, if you're one of those people who really wants the numbers, go for it. If you're one of those people who wants more quality in your numbers, do that. I think that the people who comment on my blogs are quality. Yes, I said it. And of course, if anyone else is watching this video, you're quality also. So go ahead, pat yourself on the back. You're all quality. Hope you have a good day. Thanks for watching.